only have 2.5 million. So if I can show my 18-year-old grandson or granddaughter just 7 years worth of putting the money in for them because they're working a job, and I just really encourage them, don't touch the money, don't touch the money, don't touch the money. They're gonna not only have wisdom, but they're gonna have knowledge of experience. It's so valuable. It's a Roth IRA for them at $500 a month. So just keep that in the back of your mind.
Do we get a discount for that? Do we get a tax break or?
No, you're just giving it away. You're just giving them the money. They get no tax benefit, but all that money grows tax-free. Yeah, good question. They have to make $500 a month at work. So to do $6,000 a year in a Roth, you have to make $6,000 that year. Babysitting, McDonald's, whatever it is. Question? Great question.
Excuse me. If they babysit, do they have to tell the IRS, hey, I make more than what?
You'd want to report $6,000 as income, and you have a standard deduction of $12,000. They wouldn't pay any income tax, and they could still do the Roth because you can make $12,000 a year and pay no tax. Okay.
Can I or the family hire the kid and pay her?
Out of your company or personally?
My family company?
Like a family business?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can do that. However, the downside to that is you're gonna have to pay Social Security tax
Right.
on the money you pay them. They're gonna have to pay Social Security tax, so it's, I talked to your CPA about that.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, we've talked about legacy planning and estate planning. Let's talk about IRA real quick. IRAs, 401ks, grow tax deferred until when?
73 now.
They grow tax deferred until you
Until you are.
until you touch the money.
That's the money, yeah.
Now you have to touch the money at what age? 73. It used to be 70 and a half, now it's 73. You gotta take out about 4% a year and pay tax on it. That 4% goes up every year. As you get older, you gotta pull more money out and pay more tax. So that's your IRA. Your Roth IRA, there are no RMDs, no required withdrawals from a Roth. And like I said earlier, you can convert IRAs to Roths anytime you want, any amount, as long as you pay the tax. So it should be something that you look at for your situation. And that's gonna be part of your tax plan, and your income plan is IRA Roth conversion. When do we take money out of the IRA and when do we convert? Now, Leo mentioned I'm from Canada. I've been in the United States since year 2000. And, but in 1990, 95, 96, my wife and I and our 2 children flew from Saskatchewan, Canada, all the way to LA, and we went to Disneyland. You've all been to Disneyland, right? But back in the 90s, our cell phones did only one thing. Do you remember what that was? Made phone calls. There was no texting. There was no Walt Disneyland ticket. It was a paper ticket and a cell phone. And we got in line and we got to the front of the line. I noticed that everyone that gave their ticket received a map of Disneyland. Do you remember those days? We got to the front of the line and they said, oops, we ran out of maps. Just give us 45 minutes, we'll get new maps. And I was impatient. I said, no, we'll do this thing on our own. And we spent the next 12 hours in Disneyland and got on 4 rides. What's the moral of the story? Get a map. So you need a tax map, you need an investment map, you need income. If you have the right maps, you'll have a great retirement and you'll get to go on all the rides. Does that make sense? So very important to have your maps drawn out, either by yourself or if you want help doing it, we can help you. Does that make sense?
What is the tax rate on your RMD?
Pardon me?
What is the tax rate on the RMD?
The tax rate on the RMD is whatever your tax bracket. So you can get RMDs out tax-free if you do it right, or you could pay a lot of tax. So we'll get to that in just a little bit.
Well, I have one other question on that.
Yeah.
So when you start pulling out money out of an RMD and you have to pay taxes, are you responsible for paying those taxes?
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
And
You
pay that like quarterly or?
yeah, you can have the tax withheld right at source.
Right
So
at
most
source.
of our clients, when we turn on the RMD, they have it sent automatically from Fidelity or whoever the trustee is of the IRA. Some of them don't do that, want to do it themselves, that's fine. Now, when you're looking at investments, you ever heard these terms, standard deviation or beta, these kind of high-tech terms about investments? I like to just throw all those in the garbage. I like to look at investments and say, what's the right questions I need to ask, and how do I understand the investment? This is a great term right here, drawdown. If you understand the word drawdown and you simply ask the question is, if I buy this investment that the broker is recommending, if I ask what's the historical drawdown, that's really all I need to know. How much did it go down in 2008? Is that a good question to ask when you buy an investment?
Mm-hmm.
Sure, because it's probably going to happen again. What did it go down in 2020? What did it go down in 2022? So the S&P 500 went down in 2022, 22%, right? So I want to understand the drawdown. How much did it go down? Because if I can measure it, if I lose 25% in 1 year, I have to make how much to break even? 33. If I lose 50% in the stock market crash, I have to make 100% just to break even. If I'm 40 years old, I've got time. I'm 65 years old, it's going to take a lot of time to get that back. See, in 2000, we had the stock market go down 3 years in a row, went down about 50%. 2004, it came up, 5, 6, 7, and 8, it broke even. And then what happened in 08? Went down another 50%, and then it took till 2014 to get back to even. There's 14 years of zero return because I have to make 100% when I lose 50. So the key is if I understand the investments I'm buying, I can understand what could happen, I can make better decisions. Does that make sense? Okay, so now let's talk about annuities a little bit. I call these the good, the bad, the ugly. There's basically 3 types of annuities out there that are being bought and sold by life insurance companies. Now the word annuity, please understand, it's a very complicated word, but I'm going to make it easy. It just simply means money held at a life insurance company. A CD is money held at the bank. An annuity is money held at a life insurance company. Now when a life insurance company holds money, well, let me back up. When a bank holds money for you, a CD, maybe a $100,000 CD, how much does the bank have to hold in the bank? They have to hold 10%. The other 90%, they lend out 5 times. The money's not there. Why can they do that? Because they're backed by FDIC. They're backed by the government's power to tax. Now in 2007 and 8, FDIC spent all their money. All the banks, I don't know if you remember, in 2007 and 8, a lot of banks went out of business. FDIC spent all the money they had, but they still guarantee the bank through the power of taxation. So they only hold 10 cents of a dollar. When you put money on deposit with a life insurance company, if they owe you $100,000, they have to have the $100,000. Dollar for dollar. They're not allowed to lend it out. Does that make sense? Okay, so when you're talking about a fixed annuity is a fixed interest rate for a fixed time period. 5% you can get pretty easily right now in a fixed annuity. You could lock that 5% away for 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, 8 years, 9 years, 10 years. You can lock it away as long as you want to earn that 5%. Does that make sense? That's not good or bad, it just is. It just is the interest rate that is. Who believes the interest rates are going to go down in the next couple of years? Who believes they're going to go up? Okay, I can't imagine the federal government affording more interest on the $35 trillion debt they have.
Yeah.
If interest rates go up, that's bankruptcy. So interest rates are going to have to come down. So if I do this, I might lock it in for a longer period of time because I want that high interest rate for a long time. I mentioned earlier I had an 11% mortgage in 1989. I mentioned that CD rates were 9%, and I had clients that said, I don't want to buy a CD at 9, I'll wait till it goes to 10. We have that today. We have CD rates and fixed accounts for 5.5%. People are saying, what? I don't know if I should lock it in. Man, lock it in. Lock it in. It's a great rate. Variable annuities. Variable annuities are simply a mutual fund or a number of mutual funds that are wrapped up in an annuity wrap-up. Anybody hear of Susie Orman?
Yes.
Susie Orman says, never ever buy a variable annuity. Okay, I would agree with that. Why? Leor, what's the average fee on a variable annuity?
3.25.
So the average fee on a variable annuity is 3.25%. Who would pay in here 3% fees on something? Do you know what? They're the best-selling annuities out there. They've been the best-selling for years and years and years because people that buy it don't know that their fees are 3.25%. We had a lady in the office that came in from a class a couple, 3 weeks ago, Leor, and she had a couple of variable annuities. And we said, do you mind if we just call the company? 800 number was on her statement. And we called in the company, we said, could you just tell us what the fees are? And they told us one fee, and we said, but what about the other fee? Oh yeah, that's another 1.25%. And then what about the other fee? Oh yeah, that's another 1.25%. And it was 3.5%. She was paying how much in fees?
$25,000.
$25,000 a year in fees
Unknowingly.
that she did not know she was paying. And we recommended she upgrade that account to an account that has no fees whatsoever. That's a pretty easy decision. So variable annuities, not great. I'm going to tell you another story about a variable annuity. I did a workshop like this in year 2003, a long time ago, and Sam and Ruth were in that class, and Sam said to me, can you look at my variable annuity? I said, sure. And so we met the next week, and he had put in $100,000. He was 80 years old, and he put $100,000, and then I said, well, look at the statement. What's it worth? He said, it's worth $30,000. He was varied out of $30,000. And of course, his wife said, but hold on, it has a death benefit. We're paying a fee for that. And the death benefit was his money back. But he had to die to get it. Do you think you would like to have to die to get your benefit? Now, Ruth was really looking forward to getting that death benefit, and she did get it, to be honest with you. But not a great way to go here on the variable annuity. So I call these the ugly ones right here. Now, an index annuity. Index annuity is kind of what we referred to earlier. We referred to green and red money. This is a great example of green money right here, because this looks like this. If the stock market goes down, that year we simply get a zero interest. Would you like zero when everyone else is losing money? Mm-hmm. So in 2022, when people were losing 22% in the stock market, our clients lost zero. Zero's my hero when people are losing money. But the next year, 2023, what happened? Stock market came up, didn't it? And then of course, our clients get a credit, an interest credit, because the S&P came up. And that credit locks in and can never go down. Once you earn the interest, it becomes principal and never goes backwards. That's pretty powerful. So that's where you buy stock market indexes that are insured through life insurance companies. And this is that example of the green and red again. Now, ask me if I like index annuities.
Do you?
Not very many. Not very many. They're all safe, but I'm very picky. And by the way, we're a fiduciary, right? So we want to do the best. So here's how to pick apart or find the best ones. You have to know the questions to ask. So I put every index annuity through the ringer, and I ask a bunch of questions, and here's the kind of questions that I would ask. Is it an A-rated company? And I want A+ rated, by the way. I'll settle for A, but 90% of the money that I put in my accounts or clients, we're gonna go A+ rated. Annual reset. I want the index to lock in every 12 months. There's variations to that. Sometimes we'll go longer than that if we get paid more interest, but mostly annual reset. I want to lock it in and start over. And then I want no fees. That's a big one. The average fees on an index annuity in the market is 1%. I think 0 is better than 1. 0% should be the fees. And then I wanna have liquidity. I wanna be able to take money out every year in retirement to live on it. Remember, I wanna live on my green money, and I wanna let the red money, the stock market, go up and down over time. Remember that? The green money is to live on. And then I wanna be able to change my indexes or have multiple index choice inside the account. So these are some of the things that we look at. There's a whole more list than that, but I'm just gonna leave it at that for tonight, but you wanna make sure you're on that list. Now, if I do that criteria to 500 index annuities that are on the market today, all that criteria, I get about 5. So I really like 5. Really, really like 5. So when our clients can make 8, 9, 10, 11, 12% return in those 5, have good liquidity, A-rated, all that good stuff, it's a win for the green money. That replaces the bonds in a portfolio. We had a client in the office today, this afternoon at 2 o'clock, and they had $1 million in a CD in money markets, and they were making about 5% return. It's pretty good, right? They were making about $50,000 in interest, and it was all taxable. So all we did was move that money to here, and they're gonna earn probably almost double that and not get a 1099. Interest at the bank is taxable. Interest here is tax deferred. Very, very powerful.
So when you take, so when you